Hey guys! I'm always so happy when I get to post a YouTube video because I love to talk to you guys just like one on one about how my day's going, how's my life. I don't know why this random man is talking. Like, I'm sorry. I'm filming it in my room as usual, but I'm always really happy to talk to you guys one on one because a lot of things happen in my life. There are a lot of moving parts, but when I get the time to actually sit down and remember that, oh, I have a YouTube channel and like I have supporters, people that love and want to see me do well. I just have to obviously say thank you, and I have to remember that y'all exist while I'm doing a lot of things on the journey. Make sure you're coming with me. I take y'all with me. So yeah, a lot of things have changed and also have happened since the last video. I think in the last video I was talking about just how sometimes things don't really work out. And I've been in Nigeria for a year now since moving back last year in July. So it's my 1 year anniversary. It passed on the 25th, but I mean, a lot of things have changed since that moment. I decided to, pack my bags and take on doing youth service, which is a very huge thing here. You work for the government, you work for a year. It's just like your national service. So, as much as I hate Nigeria, I have no other choice right now because I didn't plan to further my education. I only plan to open up my own enterprise, my own business. So I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about creative risks and everything that I've done thus far since, moving back home, and also just in terms of like where I'm at. So on July 25th, 2025, I made the decision to, well, it wasn't then. I would say it was maybe like the ending of March or so, April. My lease was coming to an end, and I decided to pack up my things and move back to my parents' house. That choice wasn't too inspired by my own, ideas or anything like that, but I've been able to, just take ownership and accept that I'm doing this full time. Like, I'm living here full time. There is no other place. I mean, like my home. And I mean, one day I'm not going to be living here, so might as well just do the time right now so that later on I'll, be in the clear. So yeah, I decided to pack my stuff. I bought some bicycles for my family, and then I got some boxes and I sent them over. Boom, everything was in total like 6 boxes, 2 storage bins, and like 4 bicycles. And they did make it to Nigeria very safely, thank goodness. Shout out to Mr. Solomon. Everything was in a shipping container and it arrived in 3 months. That was October 1st. I picked up all my stuff. And then after my stuff came in, we started looking at registration for my youth service. So I think October and November, those were the months that we actually started the process. So I took all my, documents like my IGCSE results. I took my, university certificate that shows I've graduated. I took my transcripts as well to the registration place. And, it just was not going through, girl. Those very first few set of months, it was not working out. Like, we would go there, they would tell us we're missing documents or like we're missing uploads. There's an online portal, and they told us so many like different ways that we just weren't getting it right. And so after a couple of tries, we still have to go to the camp, and at some point we actually just put it off completely because at that time I was working at Inspiration FM, which is a radio station, and I was just practicing my hands on whatever I could get. So I did have a job, and then after December, I wasn't really pleased with how much I was making, so I just quit the job, and then not to, not to call any names or be shady or anything, but it just wasn't decent pay, which is the truth. So I moved on from that, and I opened up my own venture, um, with my own, like, I guess, like, label or something, but this wasn't too official over here. I had just carried what I had in Atlanta, which was my LLC, and then I started just freelancing again. Freelancing is a double edged sword in the sense that you could have very prosperous months, the months where it's like holidays and it's seasonal, like just temporary jobs can come through, and then you can have your downtime. Those are the months where you don't have a lot of work or anything is buzzing. So I've experienced my fair share of that just from January till present, and I decide that I want to be a business owner full time. So of course I look at all my LLC documents in Atlanta, I put them together, make sure that I'm translating everything over there to here. And yeah, like in no time really, I just, decided a bunch of different things, honestly. Like a lot of autonomy came through with, running my business here, or rather opening up my business here and just starting to freelance properly. So in January, I will say I had a publication, and then later on, I think it was like April or so, in May, I got another publication, which was very, very good for me because as someone who's an artist, you're gonna need all the publications and or press you can get. And I decided for me that I was gonna get into a journal. So I obviously looked online, different avenues, looked up different places I could get published, any like residencies I could, practice my skills in. So yeah, I did a lot of digging, a lot of research, and I found some good websites with, credible sources. And so that's how my first publication came about. Kind of moving down from January, February, March, my birthday passed, and that was the very first birthday I've celebrated without my best friend in a long time. Because for the past like 3-4 years, we've been celebrating our birthdays together. So it just felt a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little bit sad, but I was able to have fun doing what I was doing for my birthday activities. So later on, I didn't really think too much of like the absence of my best friend. So yeah, fast forward, during like April, March, like ending of March, I get some calls and I get some messages from some people in my network about doing these like demo projects and stuff. They want me to interview and they want me to just like show them my skill levels, etc. So I do a couple of those for some of my network, and it was very good, I gotta say, very, very good, very rewarding, rewardful. I got to work with, people in Australia even, and that made me very happy and very grateful because, you know, when do you get to ever say that you worked with an Australian media company? You don't get to say that very often as somebody even based in Nigeria. So yeah, for me, I always do double the work I'm actually meant to do because I have to make it and I have to put my skills to use anyways. So I worked for them for a bit. I worked for somebody that's like really close to me and my dad, my family. I worked for him. I was just doing some mock projects as well, fixing my website, tuning my resume, also just working on like my web presence, which was, pretty, it was a lot. It is a lot rather to have to take up digital space and also make it known that you take up digital space. Like not a lot of people in this country use computers or, log on to look at your website, for example. Like people are on Instagram. People use Instagram a lot. So a lot of times that's where the traffic will go. But I mean, there are other places than Instagram. So at least for me, I'm trying to make my brand an online, well-known brand, and also even pay for my domain again if it's possible for my website. I don't think I need to print out business cards. It's not too important, but if there's a way I can just station everybody to go straight to my website, look at my stuff, whatever, like that would ideally be something that I really want. So yeah, just working on the web presence, and also knowing as an entrepreneur that a lot of what you're trying to do will not be done in a day, in a week, or even a month. I mean, because it's always like a refining process. Like, even when you do have everything uploaded and done and picture perfect, there's always going to be something that comes up that's going to make you want to, for example, change the layout, change the color pattern, the color scheme. Like, something always comes up where you have to tailor what you have to specific requirements. So I know for me, I'm always like a work in progress. So I give myself grace in that avenue. It's August right now as I'm recording this video, and so far I have registered my business from the official, website of, like, whatever the fuck you call it. I don't know. I registered my business, like, officially, government documents and all. I registered it at the bank, but that's still a work in progress. And right now I'm just looking to really push everything I've shot, everything I've created, everything I've photographed, everything I've written. I'm just trying to push those instead of looking for new material to output, just because there is already existing material and I want to make use of that. So for me right now, I'm trying to, like, for example, sell some of my photographs. Like, I took some film photos, and I think it'd be very cool to put them in, for example, like a skate park, or like a super shopping complex mall, whatever, something. Because I don't know, for me, like, I feel like a lot of the things I've done can actually be, put in spots, put in places. So I want to see, like, what avenue I can use it in. I've been getting some commissions from my grandma, who loves, like, what I've been doing with the oil pastels. Like, for example, I've done like 4 frames of just oil, soft pastel sort of things. So I'm looking to wholesale it either online or like in person, whatever that looks like. I'm gonna, find out. And yeah, like, I think making money isn't very tough. It's just holding the clientele, holding that audience, making that connection, fostering the communication. I think for me, that's the important bit, because right now, I mean, my greatest asset is how quickly I come up with ideas, I think. So I'm trying to make sure that, I don't miss out on anything like that, just because if I keep abandoning my ideas, I'm not really going to go far. And talking myself out of it wouldn't really help either. So I'm trying to just hone in on that tangible, like, feasible things, like making sure that I know I can creatively execute something that I've already, done, or like had the material for. And also just, once again, believing in myself and my craft, because Rome wasn't really built in a day. I mean, Egypt wasn't also something that people discovered in a day. Like, the pyramids, the formations, everything. Like, there's so many great things that we have on Earth that didn't take just a day or even a year to assemble, come up with, refine, create. So I'm trying to just take it easy, like, seriously. Because sometimes I get very serious and I be grilling myself. I'll be like, damn, I need to do this. But everything has a process. So I'm trying to remind myself everything has a process. And, for me, it's not going to be straightforward or even fast. It's going to take a bit of time. So I have to just give myself that time. And yeah, remember that I'm a boss, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss on a shine like gloss. I'm a boss, babe. Look at me doing all this. I'm literally just 24. Like, sometimes I keep forgetting I'm 24. And I know 24 is not like, beans or anything. But 24 is still relatively young. Like, I still feel like a kid. I still feel like a baby. I still feel like that childlike wonder. I feel all the things that kids feel because I feel like I'm still a kid on the inside. So yeah, um, that's where I'm at. I hope that from this quarter three to quarter four, August to December, I can actually nail and pinpoint my mind on everything I've set forth. I've written everything I want to do on a sketchbook page. So, still keeping it a little bit coordinated and keeping it conducted. I think that whatever I write down comes to fruition, comes to pass, because there's never really been a time where I plan for something and I don't do it. So, at least for me, in Nigeria, in the scene, I need to somehow pave a way for myself. And I know that's not going to be easy. So, I'm doing all the necessary steps now so that later on I can, celebrate, I can enjoy, I can be happy with all the fruits that I've come up with. So, yeah, that's pretty much my life. I try to just, do new things. Like, I started running in a running club. I go out to, nightlife spots. I hang out with a bunch of different people. Like, I don't just stay with one crowd anymore. I think I'm just trying to make new friends and network where I can. So, yeah, running a business at 24, it's not easy. This is my second country I'm running my LLC in, because in Atlanta, that was the first place. And then now, this is just me, touching up on what I've already established in 2024 to 2026. Getting it right, getting all the documentation, paperwork right, so I don't have any issues later. And yeah, that's just been me. I'm just chilling and vibing. I don't really want to take up too much of your time because I'm really just the same as I was before, but that's just everything that's happened since, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay followed and connected on all my social media. Instagram is MJ's World with a U. My YouTube is MJ's World with a U still _ and then TikTok is just MJ's World again. Yeah, everything is just MJ's World. So, hope you're enjoying living in it.